Hello friends, this is Ganesh. Hope you're doing great. And today I'm going to explain a single component which we're going to use much on the Adobe Forms. It's nothing but image or image field. Okay, so that's what we're going to see today. And before it begins, so far we have learned about this ABAP, its own transactions. It could be a model pool, it could be a smart forms, or it could be a BAPI, whatever it is. So everything is listed under the ABAP. Okay, so it's a ABAP transaction or ABAP applications, whatever it is. Okay. But now we are learning a concept which is already exists outside of SAP is nothing but Adobe Forms. So Adobe Forms is not part of SAP, right? So it's a different applications. So SAP is trying to adapt the Adobe Forms concept in SAP. So mostly SAP brings the data from its database and display with the help of Adobe applications. So, as a learning perspective, we have to learn the basic component, especially whatever the component we are using. So, those component properties from the Adobe Forms level. Okay. So, SAP, we are just giving or just binding, technically, we are binding the data between the components and your SAP data medium. Okay, so even if you press F1 on top of any components, that will open Adobe help, Adobe Forms help. Okay, I will show you that as well. Okay, so that's what we have to make sure it's very clear. So we are going to learn the properties of Adobe Forms components and trying to use within SAP based on the business requirement. Okay, this is very clear about Adobe Forms. So now let's get into the system. Sorry, slides first. Okay. So first component we're going to see about image. So this image you're able to see under standard options. So we have categories for an object, standard, custom, form builder. So in that standard option we have this component of image. So the properties of image is a local URL, like where your image file is, and you have to embed the image, sizing, presence. So these are a few properties about this component. Okay, so local URL is nothing but where the file is placed in your local system. And embed image is required. We are seeing just embed this image to the form. Okay, this is actually required whenever you're going to use your local image. Local image is nothing but the file is placed in your own system. So if that is the case, you have to make this option enabled. If not, the form is not accepting the image, or technically it's not embedding the image to the form, and that is not going to be displayed. Okay, so I will show the difference. And this image component we prefer to use for an internal file where you placed in your local system. Okay, so this is the option, and then the object you can see only one tab, draw, and what is the image and where your image is placed, and you have to enable this embed image data. Okay, so this is about image. Another one, okay, so before that, so suppose if you want to keep the image in the background of your text, normally you can see some pages called draft and it's not a bill. So like that, if you want to keep some image in the back end or backside of your entire PDF form, yes, that is also possible. It's a simple option how you normally do in PowerPoint, like right click, it will say send to back, bring it to front. The same option is available in Adobe as well. So if you choose the option of an image, is automatically displayed in the back end of your PDF page. Okay, so that also available in image component. And then this is also for internal, and another field or another component is called image field. There are two different components, image and image field. I already mentioned whenever you keep the cursor over the component, it gives a small description what is the use of that. So in that you can see the difference between image and image field as well. So this basically the properties, I can say it needs a graphic node. It's nothing but a data medium or variable, whatever it is. We need a graphic node to be created in the context level, and the type of this graphic node is graphic content and sizing and presence. If you see the difference between the previous one and this doesn't need a URL and it doesn't need an embedded image. The reason behind this field, this component is going to be used for external purpose. So dynamically, if you want to populate an image based on the business requirement, so the image can be placed in some web server or a system, and from there we can access the image through a URL, or the images are placed in SE78 transaction in SAP itself. I want to access those images to my component. So those things are applicable for image field component, okay, not for the image component. Okay, that is a difference. That's what I mentioned, that previous image component is for internal and this is for external. Okay, so two options: either you can get the image from SE78 transaction or you can get the image from your web server, a system where the file normally is to placed. So there are steps to be followed to include the image. So it's very pretty simple steps. The first one is, this is especially for SE78. So you have to upload the image in SE78 transaction. This is it's easy and everybody knows about it, how to upload an image in SE78. So make sure your image is in SE78, and then we need to read the image with the help of a class and its method. So the class is like, this is the one, class XSF utilities, and there is a method called BDS graphics as BMP. So we are going to use this class and method in my interface where the code initialization option is available. I'm going to use it over there, or it depends, like you can read it, you can use it in your driver program and send the final result to the Adobe, or you can use it in the interface level. It depends. Okay, and there's some parameters also to be passed to this method. It's like, what is the object is graphic, what is the name of your object, what is the name you mentioned in SE78 transaction, and what is the ID, and what is the type. So if you pass these informations, it will return back X string value. So that is nothing but the image is converted into that X string value, and then it sends back that X string as a export parameters. Okay, so the receive parameter also to be in the same format, X string. So you need a data medium or a variable or a node to be declared in your interface to receive this output. Okay, so once it is received, it's very simple. You need to do the binding. So then, okay, so before binding, small steps to be followed. Maybe additional step I can say. You have to create a graphic variable where this graphic node and content is coming into place. You have to create a graphic variable in a context, what do you call it, a tab, context tab, and assign the above received image. Suppose I'm having a variable called GV, global variable underscore logo. So that variable to be assigned for this graphical node, okay, this graphic node. So that is also to be done in context. Okay, so these are the steps to be done. And finally, did I add that one? No. Okay, so I missed it. So finally, you have to bind your graphic node to the image field, not your variable. So be clear on it. Okay, so the variable to be assigned your graphic node, and the graphic node is going to be bind your image field. Okay, once it is done, the image is displayed in your PDF output or PDF page. Okay, so this is going to be a dynamic. Whenever there is a change, maybe the name to be a dynamic, you can get it, depends on the business need, and you can change this. You can send as a form interface variable, and you can do this and get the X string and assigned to a graphic node, and that is already binding with image field. It automatically display the image dynamically based on your requirement. Okay, so these are the steps to get the image from SE78 transaction. So same kind of steps we are going to follow, especially if you get the image from the URL. So URL, like, it's not in SE78, it may be some web server, or it's something from a system, they maintained it and it has a URL. So for that, what I had to do was, everything is same here. The difference is graphic reference. If you see the previous one, it's a graphic content And if you're going to use a URL, then the small change is graphic reference. Okay, so there also you need a graphic node. This is also used for external purpose. So steps like you have to create a graphic node with type graphic reference. Okay. So previous one we created a graphic node with content, now it's reference. And then assign the image URL to the graphic node. So there is a place, if you create a graphic node, there are properties of the graphic node. And one property is URL property. So you have to assign the URL underneath this graphic node. Mostly we need to create a global variable which holds the URL and assign to this graphic node. Okay. So the next step, so bind the above graphic node with the image field, same like the previous one. So the binding to be happen between the graphic node to the image field, not where your URL or whatever is held in the data medium. So only the graphic node to be bind with the image field. And it's a dynamic URL. Yeah, this step is it's pretty simple to achieve the dynamic URL with the delimiter also. For example, sometimes the URL itself is a dynamic, or some part of the URL is standard, constant, and the image name is dynamic. So that is also can be achieved in the same URL property. We have an option called delimiter. So like slash or question marks, and those things can be achieved. I will show you that as well. So these are the steps to be included to get an image from a URL that could be saved in any of the web server or a file system. Okay. So the next one, yeah, that's it. We'll get into the system now. So this is my system. So let me go to AC78 to see an image. So most of the time we use the standard image like enjoy. It's the favorite one which started on from SAP script. So go to color bitmap image, and I want to view this. So go here, graphic. This is already available and it's from SAP site, a print preview. So I want to display this in my Adobe form, okay, with the color. So if you want to include the option, you can include it in AC78 transactions. So go to SFP, and I need interface. You can use the existing one for your testing, or you can create it image, save it, local object. Okay. So now what I need is I need a global data now, because it's going to be received from AC78, or if you want to get it from your driver program, so do whatever I'm doing in the initialization side, do it in your driver program and bring inside your Adobe forms. Okay, so it's both are same, depends on your need. But performance wise, people normally says don't dump most of the things in Adobe, means in your form code level. Please do it in the driver program, at least get the result into your Adobe forms. Okay, so now I'm going to use the class and methods. So pretty printer, and this is a template. Just click template. It's nothing but a pattern, ABAP objects pattern. So I want to call CL underscore SSF XF SF, sorry, XSF utilities. Yeah, this one. And the method is get this one, get BDS graphic as BMP. Okay, just click and continue. It's done now. So now I need to pass an object. So object is graphics, and the name of the image is enjoy. Make sure the case of your variable name, image name. So that is very important. And the ID is bitmap, image, and the type is color, COL. Okay, so if it's a black and red, it's a different one. I think it's BMAN, I'm not sure. Just check it out. And if it is receiving as GV underscore logo, this is not created. I need to create this GV underscore logo. Just save it. And I have to add it over here, GV underscore logo. It's output parameter. So now this needs to be declared as a X string. So go to global data, create that variable gv underscore logo type X string. Okay, save it. So almost we are done with interface. So if it is not an interface, then this XGV logo to be received from your import parameter, means from your driver program. So activate your interface. Okay, it's done. Then go here, create a form, CGI image, and here it is CGI interface image. Save it in a local object. Okay, so done. So I have a GV underscore logo. You don't want to use it here. You don't want to drag and drop it. Let it be in the interface side itself. So now what I want to do is I need to create a graphic node, because the graphic node is to be bind in your image field. So right click, create graphic. Okay, so you can rename this maybe if you want, underscore logo. Okay, or yeah, that's fine, underscore logo. And come little down, there is an option to determine the type of your graphic reference. So graphic reference we can go a little later, because graphic references need this URL and everything. But now I'm going to add an image from SE78. So I go graphic content. Okay, so if you see graphic content, then just save it or enter. It should be triggered, because once you graphic content you just enter or save, then it will, this part will enable for you. What is a field, what is a meme type? So what is a field? The field is gv underscore logo, gv underscore logo, and the meme type is image bmp. Okay, so here within single quotes image, yeah, this one bmp. Just save it. So we are done with context. So what happens, it's a constant image going to retrieve from SE78, and that is going to retrieve and saved in gv underscore logo variable or data medium, and that is going to be mapped with your graphic node in the context. Okay, sorry, I am explaining in a wrong order, because we got three sequence, right? Add image from a local system, and then SE78, and then URL. You started explaining your second option, like adding an image from SE78 to your image feed. Okay, that's fine. So once it's complete, I will explain how to add in your how to add an image from your local system. Okay, so for this, what I need is, after this graphic logos to be bind with your image field. So go to layer. There are two components, and go to object library. So image and image field. If you keep the cursor, it's an image display, the extension of the file, and this image field is the same display an image from an external data source or an image added by an end user. Okay, so these are two different. So this is internal, this is external. This is for the first options, like add an image from your system, and this is for the second and third options, add an image from SE78 and URL. I'm explaining the second option now. So I need this component, just double click. So it comes here, and there is an option, there's a description, so you can change that as well. Okay, so go to object. So image field, I can say company logo. Okay, so it gets changed here, and then oops. Okay, go to field. Oh, sorry, I think here I have to change as well. Company logo. Yes, it gets changed here, and this is just a name. That's fine, and there is no data binding. So here, what I have to do is go here and the graphic logo. So the graphic node is going to be bind with your image field component. Just add it. The same options is enable the pop-up window if you want to do this, but otherwise just go with don't update anything here. Okay, so graphic logo is binded. Let's see how it's reflect in the output. Go to context always and activate your form, then execute it. Execute. It creates or generates function module for this Adobe. I don't have any form interface parameter. Execute and print preview. It's open because I don't have Adobe. Yes. So company logo, it comes whatever it's available in SE78. So if you see the properties of this image field, especially the embed option, so layout, it's a little slow. Just click here, object, I'm sorry, object, field. So I didn't give anything in the URL. I didn't use this embed image data also because this URL is especially from your local system, but now I have to dynamically added the logo, or I want to get the logo from AC78. I didn't use this option. Okay, so the next one I'm going to explain the option one now. So option one is nothing but keep an image. Oops. Okay, keep the image field, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a URL which is available in my local system. Just click this. Forgot about it. Just information for you. Just click OK, and you can have an image in from your local system and click open. What happens if I'm not using this option? I will show you. I just go with little change, and the presence also available for most of the image field. Little down, it's like where you want to display your image. So here, so visible all the time, or only in the screen, only in the print, or only in the one side printing or two side printing. So these are the options available. Okay, you can make use of that. And now I'm not selecting this image embed data option. So let's see. So expectation is if it is not selected for an image from your local system, then it won't. Okay, forget about local system. For an image field, then it won't display. It won't embed in your PDF page. So that is the it's a basic idea of embed data. Just execute it. Print review. So only the second option, the AC78 image, is going to display, not the image one, not the first one. The star. So this star is missing. So you're able to see here as well. Okay. So go back and select that option to embed, technically to embed your image into the form. So here I have to use this option, embed image data. Content, activate, and execute it. So now you have a clarity when you have to use embed image data and when not. So print review. Open it. So now it's visible. Both image are visible now. So this is from SE78 and this is from your local system. This doesn't need embed data option to be checked, and but this needs. Okay. So the final one is URL. Okay, before URL, draft. Suppose how to send your image to the back end of your text. It's very simple. So layout. Let me have some text. Excuse me. drafted, something like that. So here, okay, I need to increase the size. So go to palettes, font, and I need maybe 48. Oops. Text offload. Okay. Yeah. Just click the plus. It automatically increased. Depends on your font, different font size. Okay. So now I'm going to keep the star back of this text. Right click, and you can say send backward. Okay, so that's it. Make sure you are in the image, the cursor is in your image component. That's it. And context, back to it, then execute, so you can able to see the star as back of your text. Execute, print review, open. So now you're able to see. Okay, so as a small image, so you can have drafted or whatever is a bigger image, you can keep it, and simple option, send it to backend or back, yeah, send it to back, then you can achieve the business requirement. And the final one is URL. So before that, if you want any help, okay, of the component, if you I want to see what is the use of this component and everything, so what you can do is keep the cursor and press F1, and that opens file or whatever it is. Just click image, okay, and press F1. It opens like this because as I mentioned earlier, we are trying to learn an application which is outside of SAP called Adobe Forms, and we're trying to use those application and its component inside SAP. So this is not a SAP help, it's direct SAP help. Okay, so it mostly it designed based on the Adobe Forms. Oops, it's went fast. Okay, so it has almost all the components, detailed descriptions, what you can do and everything. So just press F image. Okay. So here it's image field and image what needs to be done. Just click this. It'll give the properties of image and properties of the component and everything in detailed. Okay, so this is going to be, the people are asking, do you have any documents? Probably this helps a lot to understand each component of Adobe Forms. Okay, so what needs to be done, and what is the type, what is the URL, so everything explains very clearly. It's almost like 696 pages of Adobe Forms. Hope it works. Most of the components when you start developing the Adobe Forms or designing the Adobe Forms. Okay, so this one I want to show you, and the final one is, okay, this one, this one. Yeah, the final one is the URL I have to use. So go to context, and I need maybe go to properties because it's going to be dynamic. So I need a variable which holds my what do you call URL, global data, change mode, add it, gv underscore URL. So it's a type string because it's going to be a whole lengthy option. So just go with string, act about it. You can hard code your URL also, otherwise you can use a variable name, and then go back your form, go to context, and need to create a graphic node. And this node I'm going to give a name, so relevant name like URL. Okay, and this I need a reference only. Okay, I don't want a content. So the previous one I need a content, but I need a reference. So here you have an option called URL. So go to URL, and the understanding is the URL is going to become in this using this data medium gv URL. So gv underscore URL. And delimiter is, it's currently, I don't want any delimiter because the assumption is the entire URL is going to come in this variable. Okay, so maybe I didn't add any URL because I don't have any web server for this rental system. So that's what, because it's very simple. Once you have a URL, you can add it, it works as expected. So what needs to be done is, okay, before that, suppose the next time the URL is constant, but you are sending the image file is different. So what you can do is go here. Maybe it could be a import variable instead of global data import variable. You are receiving the URL details or file detail, image file details from your driver program. Okay, so that way also it works. Maybe do like this. So this is constant. So your URL is constant, like it's a static. Maybe HTTP www.company something like that. Okay, so web to, I don't know exactly, com, and then images like this. Okay, so it's common, and I'm going to receive the file, image file here. Image file, it's dynamic. So type, again it's string. Okay, so maybe I can keep optional, otherwise I need to enter the value while executing it. Then that's fine. Now activate it, activate your interface. Then go back to your form, and here you have an option of delimiter, right? So here delimiter is slash. So make sure you put the slash over here. You're not added a slash additionally in your static URL, and add it here. Okay, I need that to be import im image file. So im underscore image file. Okay, see, this need a delimiter and this doesn't. Okay, save it. So the entire URL is mapped with your graphic node now. Okay, so it's graphic node. You are in the graphic node, graphic URL. So this needs to be bind in your image field, not image field, because external. So go to layout, have one more image field, then bind this graphic node, then we are good to go. And this is the one, right? Image field. Currently there is no image, so don't worry about it. Then go to object, binding, graphic URL. That's it. Oops, don't do activate in layout. Better go to context, then do the activation. Go to context, activate. Okay, so execute. Obviously, you are not able to see any image because the URL is dummy. Just click execute, executes, print review. Okay, so if the URL is a valid one where your images are getting captured, so then that particular image is going to be displayed in your PDF page where the binding is happened with the image field component. Open. Okay, so here, yeah, the image field over here, but images, unfortunately, we don't have anything. Okay, so hope this might be useful for you. Just play around with the image and image field. We have one more image field, especially it's coming on a script. We'll see in a different video on that. Other than that, could be fine to understand how the image field works in Adobe Forms. Hope this works, and thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.